That is some good coffee. So guys, let's talk. So, as you can see from the title of this video, let's talk leaving Guild Wars. I wanted to discuss with you the current state of Guild Wars. Now, I know Wood and Potatoes has done this like a couple of months ago. But I'm kind of in a position where I'm questioning the state of Guild Wars at the moment. So firstly, I just want to apologise for last Tuesday. I didn't post a video. This is purely because I've been working quite a lot recently. So I've not really had time to do a video, and even a jumping puzzle. And I've not really had the inclination to log on to Guild Wars for the past week or so, which I have done. I have been logging in, I have been doing my daily. As you can see in the background, this is a typical daily that I will do, with a very, very long waiting period in it, but we'll come to that later. So this is generally what I do every day on Guild Wars. I log in, I do my daily, plus a few other bits, and then I log out because I just cannot stand to be in the game at the moment. Now, I just want to put something into perspective for you. You'll see on my channel in a few days, War for the Overworld. You've probably seen me putting videos up of that previously. Well, they've just released a DLC. Yes, their first DLC, which is called Heart of Gold. Believe it or not, Heart of Thorns, Heart of Gold, oh my god. And the similarity between these two expansions, although yes, they are two very different games. One's a strategy builder game, dungeon type build it game, and one's an MMO. The similarities are uncanny. So War for the Overworld, or Heart of Gold, has had 4 levels released. This sounds familiar, right? 4 maps, 4 levels, yeah. 4 things released, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things, is not a great DLC, let's be fair. And they've had loads of new different bits and bobs put in there. Now the thing that really is interesting is the difference in price. The War for the Overworld Heart of Gold DLC cost me £5 British, compared with you know, the Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns one, which cost me what, £60, because I got the medium package to get all the little added features and shit. So it really puts it into perspective. I've been playing on War for the Overworld for the past few days, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Does come to a point though where I'm like, okay, I'm done with it now. I'll leave it and I'll come back to it later. Whereas, obviously, Guild Wars 2 is an MMO, so you do have to stay involved with it, which is why I still log on every day to do my daily, because, you know, and because I'm so heavily invested in the game, both time and money. But that brings me on to really my gripe with Guild Wars 2 at the moment. And, oh, by the way, I am going totally off script here. I've got literally bullet points on my screen, which I'm just kind of just going with the flow with. So this is all coming from the heart and off the top of my head. So I want to sort of play devil's advocate here, and I want to compare Colin and Mo. Basically, their kind of strategy with leading the game, you know, being the game manager and all that. I want to compare the two because, quite frankly, since Mo has taken over, my interest in this game has dwindled more so than it ever has before. Why? Well, let's compare them, shall we? Colin was the sort of guy who would basically come along and he would say, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you this, this, and this, and he would tell you everything. He would put it on a plate and say, this is what we are going to give you. Here you go. And then when it came to delivering, you know, he'd promise the world and would deliver a boulder. Okay, so it's enough for people to go, what the fuck? No, No. I wanted that. You said we were going to get this. You said we were going to get that. You said this. Quote. That's why people were getting pissed off with Colin's way of doing things. So along comes Mo after Colin so abruptly left the company. Left or was pushed? I'll let you guys decide on that one. Personally, I think that Mo was getting a little bit pissed off with the backlash of all that Colin was promising. He was promising this, he was promising this, and we just can't deliver. Well, okay, I kind of understand that. You can't promise everything and expect to not get a backlash off it if you don't deliver. Fair enough, right? My gripe, though, with Mo's way of doing it is that he will promise you a stone. As we know from the April patch, he promised us a stone. He gave us a 13-second long clip which showed literally 3 things, and we were all left like, motherfucker, say what? So we were all pretty disgruntled. What I could not believe, I was astonished, literally astonished. What came after that? I was watching YouTube videos about people's impressions of the April patch, and oh my god! Everyone just completely fell for it. The oldest trick in the book. Promise someone a stone and deliver them a boulder, and they are so happy. Oh my god. But they're delivering exactly the same as Colin would have delivered, except Colin promised more, and we got less. Mo promises less, but we get more. There are people, and I'm doing a bit of a name drop here, Wooden Potatoes. Oh my god, dude. When I watched his video on his thoughts on the April patch, and he was like, oh, that was really pleasantly surprised, and we get this, and we're getting this, and it's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Yeah? Really? Really doing this? It's like, you know when your brain just goes, I don't know what to say. There's so many things I could say. Why did people fall for that? It's just like, that was kind of what Mo was intending to do. That it was his whole marketing strategy to promise very little, and then people were like, oh my god, when they actually delivered. And then we will talk about what we delivered. Copyright Mo. So, you know, they're delivering exactly the same thing, but their way of going about it is different. And I can't believe that people actually fell for this whole marketing ploy, this gimmick as it was, that Mo basically said, you know, we're not going to talk about what we're going to deliver, and then we're going to deliver it. It's still a load of shit, but he didn't promise us anything better, like Colin did. Colin promised us all this stuff, delivered a boulder. Mo promised us nothing, delivered a boulder. But suddenly the perspective of the players just completely flips, and it's like, oh my god, this is amazing. No, it's not amazing at all. Seriously, it's just not. And okay, this is getting a little bit ranty, so I'm just going to bring it back a little bit. I want to talk about that in a little more extension, and it's all about marketing, the way they are marketing the game. Which one do you prefer? Well, actually, I'm gonna play devil's advocate once again and say, you know what, I actually preferred Colin's way, because at least then I had something to look forward to. Okay, so I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but Colin basically said, you know, we're going to deliver this, we're going to deliver this and this and this, and you're going to get all this stuff, and it's just going to be wah, and everyone's jumping on the hype train and playing the game again because they're like, I've got to get ready for all this stuff that they're going to be releasing. It's just going to be epic. Oh my god. So then he delivers it, he delivers a boulder, and it's like, everyone's like, oh, well, you promised this and you promised this. Hey, did Colin ever once cancel legendaries or anything that he promised? No, we always got it in some way, shape or form. Everything that he promised, we always got. Soon as Mo comes along, scraps legendaries. And what does he do? He sticks that team onto the next expansion. I'm sorry, but who in their right mind is going to buy the next expansion when they cancelled something that they promised in this expansion? We paid money, not specifically for those legendaries. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it was a part of it. You don't buy a wardrobe from, you know, from any sort of furniture store, and you're told on the box you will get the little handles on there. You'll get them. But then when you get it home, oh, sorry, yeah, they're not included. Would you then say, oh, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, because we're working on a newer model that you can come and buy later. And everyone's okay with this? Did I miss something? Am I going crazy? What? What? Am I making sense here? Because I feel like I'm the only person on Guild Wars that is actually getting this, that actually sees this for what it is. It's a crock of shit. We're going to deliver you a newer model later, and that may or may not have handles with it. You just have to buy the product and see. I mean, what? Are you fucking serious? People like wooden potatoes. They don't really, as such, have a choice with when Guild Wars is concerned with buying a new expansion, purely based on the fact that he relies solely on his YouTube channel and obviously his Pinterest and all that, Patreon and streaming and everything. But he relies on that to get an income. So without that, he wouldn't have an income. So he has to, pretty much, buy the next expansion so he can continue to deliver content. Much like myself, I mean, I don't have to. I could just cancel the YouTube videos on Guild Wars at any time I like, but I choose not to. I choose to keep going and pressing on, even though deep down inside I am just going, what are you doing? Oh my god! So anyway, back to the topic, marketing. So it's all in the presentation of it, and at the moment Mo is in this whole I'm going to promise you nothing, and what I deliver is what I deliver, and you will like it or you will lump it. Okay, fair enough. Mo, I lump it. Okay? What are you delivering to us? I mean, we're not even getting sort of any leak of information. We're not getting, oh, here's something to get excited about. We're going to be doing this. No, we're just getting every other week we're getting an update on. First it was those unidentified lodestones, then it was the bandits, now it's back to the ley lines that was first, and waiting around for 10-15 minutes for each event to sudden well spawn, which is really tedious. And that's what you're delivering to us? That's what we're getting? I mean, you have got a huge team at your disposal, and they're all working on the next expansion. Now, I'm not being funny, that I know a lot of people will be like, yeah, but we want an expansion because, you know, otherwise there's going to be nothing to do. Actually, no, I would rather they fix their game for a start, and aside from fixing it, give us some content which makes that money that we paid for Heart of Thorns, make it worth it. You know? Unless they're giving the next expansion away for like half, maybe even a quarter of the price that they actually charged us for Heart of Thorns, then I'm not really interested in an expansion right now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel the same. You know, they're delivering us, what, raid wings? Well, not everybody's into raiding. You're catering to, you know, people who aren't really that interested. I know from experience, I've my guild of, what, 200 and nearly 300 members, and finding a team of 10 to go into a raid? Fucking Jesus, it is difficult to actually get a full team together. So, yeah. So, I mean, you're focusing on that, which is endgame content, but the problem is that Mo is not, he's not using his marketing skills to actually keep us interested at all. we're not really that interested. So that's the problem that we've got. Because he's not teasing us with information like Colin was, we're just losing interest. It's almost like nothing's coming. It's like, ugh. And we know from previous posts and stuff that, oh, you know, Living Season 3 is coming in June. Well, it's June, and I've not heard a whisper about it. Not anything. Maybe that's because I've not really been paying attention. Why have I not been paying attention? No emails to say this is what's going to be happening. No in-game messages to say this is what's going to be happening. No, nothing. So that leaves me in a position where I've just got to move on. Just go and play other games. Go and have fun elsewhere. I've got plenty of other things that I can be doing other than playing Guild Wars. And that's the issue for me. Mo isn't teasing us with enough information. I've got no real reason to stay because that information isn't there. There is no hype train anymore. It's gone. That left with Colin. So, just to back up my little rant here, I was speaking to one of my guild members and they linked something for me, which is a post, sort of a blog post about why this guy or girl, I have no idea, decided to leave Guild Wars. So I just want to touch on that. I'm going to pop up a screeny of that, and I'm just going to highlight it for you. Okay, so the first thing that this guy points out is that he can't kill the Veil Guardian. He spent hours trying to kill the Veil Guardian and just couldn't. Which, okay, comes with time and practice. I know from experience it does come from time and practice. And it's not for everyone. Okay, fair enough. We've already discussed that. Let's not go into that too much. But a few things he did point out were quite interesting to me. He said, what frustrates me so much about Guild Wars 2 right now is the fact that all its systems and newly added content reek of desperately trying to keep you playing rather than the game being fun enough that you want to. Which is very interesting, and I just have to say I do agree with that. On some level. I don't think it's as bad as he's making it out, but we'll move on to the next point, which I'm kind of on the fence with. He says, the gem store and the constant addition of new cosmetic items to the gem store is maddening. For once, can we have a collection actually added to the game and obtained by, you know, playing, rather than getting out our credit card or handing over gold to the trading post? While I do agree with that, I also disagree. I see no problem whatsoever in ArenaNet adding in purchasable content with gems and, you know, in-game gold converting and all that. I don't see a problem with that. What I do see a problem with is the huge focus that ArenaNet have put on the gem store. Okay, I understand they need money. They've got to get money to keep the game and the staff rolling and all that, but there is far too much focus on that, especially after, and I know I keep coming back to this, but especially after they cancelled the legendaries and they're adding in new collections and new weapon skins and all that. All these new things could have actually, and they are slowly progressing towards being equal to a legendary collection, which means for everything that they add, for each new collection they add and each new weapon set they add, it is more of a cause for players to go, well, hang on, how come you're adding this new collection in when that could have been towards a new legendary that we haven't got because Mo decided to cancel them? So I can understand as time goes on, players are going to be a bit like, whoa, hang on there. And I think that they're being quite foolish in thinking that the players won't realise this, won't pick up on it, because we ain't stupid, we will pick up on it. So his next point is, there's no doubt that I've had my fun in Guild Wars 2 and I've spent thousands upon thousands of hours playing it, but it's fair to say that content delivery is far too slow. Once again, the cancellation of future legendary weapons has gone down like a lead balloon, and the rejection of dungeons just a disaster. Obviously, Yes, the legendary cancellation was a total shitstorm. They have rectified the whole rejection of dungeons, so you know this post is a bit outdated. They have clawed that back and made dungeons actually playable again, which you know and rewardable. And then he goes on to say, despite the player base clawing for content and more than happy to overlook ArenaNet's stumbles, I'm still baffled by just how slow they are. Now, that rings really true. I think the main focus on the Living World and the next expansion is far too intense, and at the moment we're not getting anything at all. So it just leaves us with this huge dry patch where we're just getting nothing. And people like myself who've been playing the game since launch and you know before we playing in the beta, it leaves us with this sort of please give me something. If you imagine for 1 second that think of it as a progress bar, okay? The progress bar, this is the game from start to finish. This is what you've got. This is your progress bar. And the veteran players are literally right up to the end. They're like, okay, ArenaNet are adding stuff in which extends this progress bar outwards and gives us more to do. The problem is this progress bar is not extending, it is extending. Which doesn't leave us very far to go before we hit that wall once again where we're like, okay, now what? And I'm just going to go back to the whole Colin versus Mo scenario. He puts it quite bluntly in there. He put, and more than happy to overlook ArenaNet stumbles. You know what? Yes, I am. The players are a lot more forgiving than ArenaNet give us credit for. Yes, we moan. Yes, we bitch. Yes, we cry about stuff, but we are a lot more forgiving than they actually think we are. You know, if they say to us, okay, we've promised you this, can't actually deliver on that right now, but we will. We're working on it. We are happy with that. If they'd have said, look, okay, you've got a choice. We either cancel the legendaries or we just postpone it for the time being. We are going to deliver them. It's just going to be a slow progress, maybe one every, couple of months, not even that, maybe once half a year, something like that. But we will deliver these legendaries to you. I think the players would have just been like, you know what? Actually, yeah, that's fine. If it's a choice between cancelling them completely or slowing down progress on them, i.e. moving half of the legendary team over to the new expansion, so only half the people are working on legendaries, fine. You know what? That is fine. As long as there is progress going towards it, I'm happy. And I think a lot of the other players would be happy. And yes, we understand that you're one team and you're not the biggest, you're not as big as Blizzard. We know. And I know you probably hate being compared, ArenaNet, hate being compared to World of Warcraft and other Blizzard products. Yeah, I would hate that too. I would hate to be compared to Wooden Potatoes, because I've got a face and he hasn't. But, it's that sort of thing. We are happy to overlook their stumbles, as long as we know that they are on our side. And at the moment it feels as if Mo has just come along and slammed the door in our faces and gone, no, you know what, stay on that side of the door, we're working here, we don't really want to interact with you, we don't want to promise things to you, we don't want to work with you, we want to do what we're doing, we want to give it to you and say, there you go, like it or lump it. And again, lump it. I'm sorry. I'm just picking lump it because all you're doing is pissing members off, Joe. Mo? Joe? Who the fuck's Joe? Anyway, moving on. He next put achievements aren't content. New item collections aren't content. Redesigning existing content isn't new content. Heck, even bringing Super Adventure Box back isn't new content despite its popularity. Now, I loved Super Adventure Box. And And as much as people are a bit like, why'd you remove it? I understand why they did it, because if it was there all the time, much like dungeons, they're there all the time, it just gets to the point where you're just like, yeah, Super Adventure Box, innit? You know, whatevs. So bringing it back as a sort of an event thing, yeah, I agree with that, because that's given us something to look forward to, and when it does come back, the popularity just goes boom, yeah, let's play it. I know people hated Super Adventure Box. There are people in my guild who would literally jump up and down saying how much they hate Super Adventure Box, and I'm just like, get on with it, crikey. But yes, I do agree that, yeah, achievements aren't content, even though I am an achievement whore. If new achievements come out, I want them. I want to get achievement points. The only reason I want to get achievement points is for the achievement armor. Once I've obtained that, where do I go from there? I think when I get that achievement armor set, I've kind of hit the wall big time. That is literally progress bar, I'm here. I'm on the other side of the progress bar. I've got literally nothing left to do. Now you may notice in the background that my character has been stood around for quite some time doing absolutely sweet FA. That, my friends, is purely because this event just takes forever to actually fucking well spawn. If it wasn't for that event, I wouldn't have actually been in the game this long. So, just throwing that out there. Okay, so we'll move on to the next bit, is what he looks for. So what I look for at other MMOs, and see their steady and consistent delivery of content, with the exception of WildStar. Don't know why he decided to throw that in there, but there you go. It's fair to level criticism at Guild Wars 2. How much time has been lost redesigning existing systems that, when they do arrive, are worse or barely superior to what we had before? Yeah, I can't really comment on that, because I barely remember the old systems. It's weird, isn't it, how the new systems come in and you just become so accustomed to them that I forget what the old systems were and how things used to be. I think the new systems come in for a reason, and I can't see any fault within the systems as such. So, and he goes on to say, I'm not suggesting Guild Wars 2 is a lost cause, but they have lost sight of what made the game fun. I'm just going to cut it there for a second and say it's not necessarily that. Yes, okay, it is partially that, but what they have lost, in my mind, what they have lost sight of is what they built the game on in the first place. Write your own story. I've said this in a previous video that it's all about writing your own story, making choices, and those choices determine where you go. No. Basically, what they created in the first place, and I think this was purely down to the way that they were rushed into releasing the game, as we've seen the past 3 years, has literally just been, okay, let's take the piece of shit that we delivered in the first place and actually make it up to the standard where we wanted it to be in the first place. And that just goes back to, you know, his previous statement of barely superior and all that. Yeah, I think it's barely superior because they're just trying to get it to a point where they wanted it to be in the first place. But what, you know, they haven't actually gone with the whole, I make this choice and that takes me down this route and I end up in a completely different place. No, it's just you start from this mass, like here we are, and it goes straight to the top, and there's Zaitan, which was a really anticlimactic battle. But then he says, getting it back will not only take time, but a significantly different approach to design and delivery. Unfortunately, and with current staff allocated, I'm not sure it'll happen anytime soon, which just goes to back up what I've said. Underlining, bold, italics, make it flash, delivery. Mo is the current game manager and he is not delivering. He's not giving us anything. As I say, he's slammed the door in our face and gone, we'll just, you know, peek through and throw something at you every now and then and slam the door back in your face. Mo needs to be a lot more transparent with the players. This whole approach with we will discuss it once we've given it to you is not good marketing, and quite frankly what they've done, well, what he is doing, his approach to it is just failing, because people are waiting. They're standing around going, okay, so what's next? Oh, ArenaNet aren't going to tell us. They're not telling us. They're not going to give us anything. And so that is my kind of opinion of why I think people are leaving Guild Wars 2, because they've kind of lost sight of what the whole thing is about in the first place. What's going on? You know, Colin wanted to be open with us and give us everything on a platter. This is what we're going to be delivering to you, and Mo has flipped that on its head and just told us nothing, which is a little disgruntling, to say the least. So why is, in my opinion, why is Guild Wars 2 dying? Because of Mo. Because of one person. The game's developer, manager, whatever he is failing the community. And you know, this isn't me jumping on the witch hunt train. Let's kill the witch. It's not that at all. It's just plainly what I see in front of me. This is what's happening. This is what's going on, and I think I've probably prattled on for quite long enough about it. But I hope ArenaNet do kind of flip it and, you know, make a huge difference. I'm hoping that they do. I will always support ArenaNet as a company. As an individual, Mo is not really ticking any boxes for me at the minute. He's not doing it the way it should be done, and his marketing practices are questionable at best. Now, the title of this video is, you know, me leaving Guild Wars 2. Well, surprise, I'm not. I will not be leaving Guild Wars 2. Not yet, anyway. I have threatened to do it in the past. I mean, you can really say that I am leaving in a manner of speaking, because all I'm going to be doing is logging in, doing my daily, and logging out again. There are certain concerns there, because obviously I'm a guild leader. I have appointed Goddish as the stand-in leader for my absence, so I'm hoping he can, you know, I trust him, he will get everything all sparkly and nice for my return. But we have the alliance with Hero and High. I'm hoping that alliance persists and Goddish will keep up with doing the alliance events and everything. But for me, Guild Wars 2 has kind of lost me for the time being. I'll log in to see what they keep releasing on, you know, on these odd occasions with the current events. But other than that, yeah, and this is just my way of putting it out to you guys and just saying, you know what, let's talk about it, rather than, you know, me just not posting any videos. So yeah, that is everything, guys. I'm sorry if this has been a bit of a whiny, pissy, farty, moany, QQ kind of video, but I hope it made a lot of sense to you guys, and I hope you agree. I mean, if you don't agree, feel free to leave it below. I'm more than happy for you to say, Coops, you're a total mung bean and you're chatting shit. That's fine. Go for it. Because I've got to the point where now, with my opinion of Guild Wars, I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care. I will continue to do videos for Guild Wars. They will just be the jumping puzzles ones, you know, just continuing through them until they are all done. What I'll do after that is anyone's guess. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And I'll catch you next time on Game Slobs. Ta-ta.